What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. I am here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Tuesday, July 7th, 2026. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter based out of upstate New York here and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a very special guest that's on with me today, and she is the MC for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Those of you that don't know what the Oklahoma City Thunder is, it's a team in the NBA, National Basketball Association. She's also an instructor at Dance Unlimited as well. I'm talking to the wonderful Hannah Milner. And we're going to talk to her about her why of getting into sports, but also her why of getting into dance. So without any further ado, I introduce you, the wonderful, talented, and the beautiful Hannah. Welcome
Oh
to
my
the
gosh,
podcast.
what an intro. I love that. Thanks, Chris.
You're very welcome, very welcome. And I'm very happy to have you on here. Absolutely, no question. And you look lovely. I love the earrings. You
Thank
look
you.
lovely. Yes, indeed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, my first question to you is the same question that I have for everybody that hops on this thing, and that is, what is your why? Why do you do what you do? Did you have any role models, any inspirations growing up in Texas? But ultimately, what is your why for wanting to get into sports and pursue dance?
Absolutely. So, growing up, my parents kind of threw me in everything and they were like, just figure out what you like.
Mhm.
Both my parents were professional athletes in college. So,
Oh,
they were like, we want you to do what you want because my mom was a basketball player. My dad played baseball. So,
cool.
they were like, you decide. And so, I started to like weed things out. And then in middle school, I had narrowed it down. I like played volleyball, basketball, I ran track, and then did dance and like musical theater and band. And so I was
Oh,
kind of like living in two worlds. I was doing the sports thing,
yeah.
but then I was also doing the fine arts thing. And I loved both. But then my eighth grade year, they cut down our electives. They were like, you can only do
Ah,
two. And so it
mhm.
was like, well, now I have to decide because I can't take band and athletics anymore. And so I thought about it. And for me, I just think that I did sports because they were fun and I loved them, but
Mhm.
my heart wasn't necessarily in it and I wasn't being pulled in that direction.
Sure.
And I had a very strong sense of that from a very young age. And I'm also a believer. So for me, it was like I felt like the Lord was saying, like, you need to go this way, like into the arts. There's something here.
Mhm.
And so I ended up like that was the end of my professional athletic career.
Right.
And so then I started doing the arts. I danced outside of school for like 20 hours a week.
Wow.
And then I, in high school, was in the marching band and did band and then also did theater. And so I had set in my mind, I was like, okay, high school is going to be the end of my arts journey. And my dance teacher, who's like my one of my biggest role models in my whole life, she said, I just think that your passion for dance is not confined to your high school. Have you ever thought about going to college for dance?
Right.
And I was like, oh, I didn't really know that that was a thing. Like, I was just like, I'm going to be a high school math teacher and teach calculus because I loved math. And
Okay.
so I was like, well, I've never really thought about it. So I started doing some research and looking at schools. And then she was like, I think there's a school that I want you to look at in Oklahoma. And now, if you know anything about the Texas Oklahoma rivalry,
Oh, yeah.
this is a
Big time. Mhm.
very serious thing to cross the Red River into um, Oklahoma. And so I was
Sure.
like, Oklahoma, what's in Oklahoma? But I applied and I got into the school. And then when I went to audition and I did my tour, I like fell in love with the campus
Sure.
and was like, this is where I'm supposed to be. And so I just was like, put it in the Lord's hands of like, Lord, if this is where I'm supposed to be, like, make it so. And so ended up getting into the dance program. Went to school there for 4 years. And really, I think the biggest lesson I learned from OCU, which then segues into my why for media, is just saying yes to any opportunity and not limiting yourself because of what you think your capabilities are, but
Right.
just being open and receptive to anything that comes your way and taking it and trying it because you never know what you're going to love and fall in love with. And so I graduated from OCU with my degree in dance teaching and from there just started working in the studio environment. I also teach full time at a high school as well.
Mm.
And I teach dance there. And so I'm like in charge of the whole department. I teach like every single style of dance. And so it's super great. And so that opportunity led me to meet one of my friends, Chase, who at the time was on the O City crew. And he was like, I really think that you should audition for this crew. And I was like 24 at the time and was kind of
Okay.
like, my professional dance career, I think, is done. Like, I just really want to focus on teaching because it's what I love and it's what I'm passionate about.
Right.
But I was like, I'll go and see what it's all about. So I took some of the preparation classes that they offer, and I was like, wait, I think I want to do this. And
Mm.
so I ended up going through the audition process. I made it onto the team, and I did that for 2 years, and it was so wonderful. So many great memories made. But in my second year on the team, I was approached by Malcolm, who was the other MC with me for the Thunder.
Right.
And one day we were just at a game and I was walking around, prepping for game day. And he like came up to me and was like, hey, I have a question for you. And I was like, yes. And he was like, have you ever thought about doing MC work?
Wow.
And I was like, it's not something that I've thought about, but it would be super fun. Like, I would love to give it a try.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
And so he was like, great, I'll keep in touch. I'll let you know. And so, about, I think, like 2 weeks later, he messaged me and was like, hey, we have an opportunity for you to step into a game day scenario if you're interested in wanting to do that. And so I like started in a very small capacity just before the games, doing some like promotional work, very low key. And then I'll never forget, I was at school and I
Yeah.
got a call from our big boss. And he was like, today is the day, Hannah. You are emceeing a game, a Thunder game with Malcolm. And I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
I had never done that before. And he was like, also, it's televised on TV. And I was like, oh, great.
Right.
And so
Right.
I ran home, I got my clothes. And so I did double duty that game. I emceed and then I also danced for O City. And
Wow.
that was kind of how it worked for the rest of the season. That was in January. And so all the way through our championship run season, I was doing both MC and O City. So I'd do my MC hit, I'd run back behind the thing, change into my O City uniform, run back out, perform our routine, run back, change into my MC clothes, run back out.
Wow.
And that's just kind of, I was on the grind just to, I was thankful for the opportunity and I didn't know, I was just the girl who had that job at that time. She had gotten married. And so she was on her honeymoon. And then her husband is in the military and his base got moved. And so
Yeah.
they had to unexpectedly move. And so it was like, I was just kind of helping her and filling in for her and not really with any expectation of it leading anywhere, just like being a
Sure.
helping hand, showing up, saying yes.
Yeah.
Um, and so then I ended up getting to do it for the rest of the season, all the way through the championship, which was such a blessing. And she ended up getting to come back, which I thought was awesome. And so she got to be there for the last two rounds. And so her, Malcolm, and myself got to just kind of tag team and we just filled in the gaps where we needed. And it was a super great opportunity. And so I was super thankful for that and for it to be in such a monumental season. It was just really kind of like a just awestruck opportunity, kind of being in the right place at the right time and just being willing to say yes. And so I think like when I tell people like my why, like why I do it, it's like I love it. I love the fan interaction element of it, getting to meet fans during certain
Absolutely.
moments.
Absolutely.
When we're on the O City crew, you get that before games, but when you're in the game, it's very game focused. We're
Right.
doing everything for the team. But when you're emceeing, it's a collaboration of that element
Mm.
and also getting to meet fans, interact with fans during promotions, during giveaways, things like that. And I love that element of it. I'm such a people person and I love getting to meet people, hear their stories, and celebrate them and just get to be. I think sports is just such a great way to bring people together. And so
Absolutely.
getting to meet people through that, I think, is the why I keep doing it. It's the people part of it. The job itself is wonderful. And I work with great people. Malcolm is one of the most inspiring MCs. I think he's the greatest. I mean, I'm biased, but I think he's the greatest to do his job. I think he's the best at our job out of anybody I've ever seen. And so getting to learn from him has been such a privilege. And then our bosses are so just like unified in what our team's mission is and how we can contribute to the team. I mean, the Thunder is such a wonderful place to work, and I'm so grateful for that. And so I think my why is just the people, being with people who love their jobs, who are like-minded in our mission, and also meeting people through this job is the why I keep doing it. And so I kind of all those things have led to the perfect storm. And so then after our season was over, I retired from O City. And I just was like, you know what? It was a great year. I didn't think anything of it and was just like, the MC was such a great opportunity and it was so fun. And I'm thankful that I could step in for Emily when she was, getting married and transitioning her life to
Right.
New Mexico. And so then in August, I got a call and they were like, hey, we want to offer you this job if you want it. And I was like, again, that just like say yes. You never know what could happen. And
For sure.
and so I was like, absolutely, I would love to. And so I've done that now for a year, and it's been just such a year of learning, a year of growth, and just another fun season to be a part of the Thunder. So it was great. So the kind of all that is what led me to where I am in my why of just the people that you meet, the people that you get to interact with. And, it makes the job part of it, the work part of it, feel less like work
For sure.
and more fun, which is, I mean, that's been my philosophy my whole life is if you're not loving what you're doing, why are you doing it in the first place? And so I'm
Absolutely.
super thankful that I work in a place where just everyone loves what they do and is passionate about it. And it makes you want to be better at your job. So,
I love it. No, that's pretty good. I know that's really awesome. I love that first answer,
yeah,
and we're off to a great start on this conversation. I mean,
perfect.
your why is the perfect reason why people should do it, right? The people, the interaction,
Yeah.
the love of the job. But it also goes to show you that when luck meets preparation, opportunity presents itself, right? And you,
Hmm.
you were prepared to say yes. And even though
Yeah.
you wasn't prepared for maybe all the things that came with it, with the national televised game, with this stepping into a role that you haven't done, you were like, this opportunity is presented itself. I'm going to take advantage of it and make the most of it. And
Absolutely.
that's what you have to do in an industry like this, especially in journalism and media type industries. You when you get that opportunity presented to you, you definitely want to step up to the plate. No matter what,
Yeah.
if you're a rookie or if you're a veteran, you definitely want to step up to the plate. So I love that. I
Yeah.
love that you did that. Now, I want to ask you because you talked about your school going to Oklahoma City University. Now,
Hmm.
being from Texas, as you said, it's a big time
Yeah.
Red River rivalry that they have. Texas and
Yes.
Oklahoma, everybody knows that, especially from those two states. They know about the rivalry. Um,
Yeah.
Talk to me about, was Oklahoma City your school that you always wanted to go to, or did you have any other schools that could have persuaded you? Because in Oklahoma, you got Oklahoma State, you also have University of Oklahoma. Texas, you got University of Texas, you got Texas Tech,
Right.
Baylor, Houston, Rice, all them schools there in Texas where you're
Yeah.
from. So tell me, was Oklahoma City your number one choice, or did you have any other schools that you were considering?
So I think because I had decided at that point that I wanted to do get my degree in dance, there aren't many schools in the nation that offer a specific dance degree.
Hmm.
Some of them will offer dance minors or dance programs, but I wanted a commercial training program. I wanted a
Right.
program where I could not necessarily do like what a Juilliard does, where they're more ballet modern focused, very company style dancing, which is wonderful, but it's definitely a different route. I wanted to go to a school that had a program where I could segue to Broadway, a cruise ship, professional work for the NBA or, MLB or NHL, any of these organizations that have dance teams. And so I wanted to be prepared for anything. And so that kind of narrowed, like, took out a bunch of schools for me. And so the schools I ended up looking at were Pace University in New York City,
Yeah.
Sam Houston State University in Texas, and
Hmm.
then Oklahoma City University. And my dream at the time was to move to New York because when you're a dancer, that's like what you think
Yeah.
the quintessential. I'm going to go live in New York. I'm going to be on Broadway. I'm going to,
Mhm.
that was kind of where I thought the only option for dance was. And so I applied to Pace and I got into their school, but then I got waitlisted for their dance program. And so
Mhm.
I was kind of like, that was in November. And so I said, okay, I have to have a backup plan. I have to pivot. I have to be ready. So then I applied to Sam Houston, got into the school, and that was going to be my like if nothing worked out for dance, I was going to go to Sam Houston, be on their dance team, and then just study education. And that was kind of my plan. And then Oklahoma City came onto my radar, and I started researching and was like, wait, this is actually a phenomenal dance school. How did I not hear about this? You know, they
Right.
were consistently in the top 5, top 10 ranked dance schools in the nation. And I was like, and I've never heard of this school before. And so I started doing some more research and realized like they had a program that I really loved. I was like, my two favorite styles of dance are tap and hip hop. And they had a tap program, which
Okay, now.
not many schools at the time had a tap program.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that was a huge pull for me to be like, oh, maybe this is where I'm actually supposed to go. And so while I was waiting to hear back from Pace, I was like, I'm going to apply to this school. And then the more that I like researched, it just kind of felt like my draw was there.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I ended up just shutting the Pace thing down completely. And then I like went to OCU, auditioned there, and was kind of like putting all my eggs in one basket and just being like, if this is where I'm supposed to be, it's where I'm going to be.
Yeah.
And so then when I kind of late compared to like all my best friends I remember in high school already knew where they were going. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we were doing our announcement day at school, and I was like, I don't know where I'm going yet because I don't have my results back. And so then I
Right.
found out like early April that I was going to go to OCU. And so then I committed there and said yes and ended up going to school there and truly got the best education. I love OCU. Specifically, the dance school is phenomenal, and the professors that I got to learn from, just their experience level was world class. And I left not only feeling like I had great skill set in dance, but also that I was prepared for a professional capacity in the way that I showed up for work, in the way that my resume was built, in the way that I could communicate with people in an interview or anything like that. I felt like I was prepared for anything that could be thrown at me. And so the craziest part of the whole thing is that my senior year of college was COVID. So when we went on spring break, it was like 2 weeks spring break for COVID. And then it was like, just kidding, you're not coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And so kind of what everyone thought they were going to do post grad was twisted 180.
Wow.
And so it was like, okay, well, what am I going to do? Like, I thought I was going to move back to Texas and teach at a dance studio and, you know, do like the drill team route because that's a real big thing in Texas.
Sure.
And so, but luckily OCU had equipped me with the tools to be like, be ready for anything. Be ready for there to be an open opportunity, and an administrative assistant position opened up in the dance school at OCU. And so I
Look
applied.
at you.
And
Okay.
so then I ended up getting the job and moving back to Oklahoma after spending some time back in Texas for COVID. And then I worked at the university for 2 years, and that was a great experience. And it really helped me figure out like, what do I want in a job? You know, like post grad, you're kind of like, you think you know,
Right.
but you don't really know. And so
Absolutely.
it helped me figure out also like what I needed to work on in a professional capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Like the only job I had really had up until then was teaching at a dance studio. And so working in my first professional job, it was like, okay, where are my weaknesses? What are the things that I need to work on? What do I love about this job and what do I not love about this job? So then when in the future I start looking for something else, what can I what should I look for? What are the
Right.
kind of jobs that draw me in?
Right.
What are the things that I'm like, maybe I don't love that? And for me, it was, I want to be moving. I want to be up and moving. I love movement. I love dance. And so I was like, I don't want to sit at a desk for long periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I knew that I wanted to do something in a field with people where I could continue the legacy of dance because it meant so much to me. And having a teacher who passed so much down to me, I wanted to be able to do the same for the next generation of dance. And so that has led me to where I am with my jobs today, my dance jobs specifically, and then inherently my Thunder job as well because of the O City crew, then segue into MC. So that job was super important for me. And it also helped me identify like, what are the things that I need to work on?
Sure.
I think a lot of people, you know, go into jobs and they're like, oh, like it just wasn't a good fit for me. And it was like, well, why wasn't it a good fit? Like, what was I doing that like I need to work on as a person? And then also, like, what did it teach me? What did I learn from that experience? And I think it's twofold. And I think that reflective process is important because the things I learned from that job of what I need to work on have helped me excel in the job that I'm in right now, in all my jobs that I'm in right now. And
Okay.
though that reflective process was imperative for me to help me grow as a person, grow as a professional, grow as a teacher, and just be prepared for whatever, came my way next, which happened to be two teaching positions and a professional dance job that now has led me to MC. So
Love it. I love it. I do. And we have a lot of similarities, Hannah. We do because I
I
also
love that.
I sub teach out here
Amazing.
In New York. And listen, I recently just got my master's this last December.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I've been wanting to do kind of a teaching type thing, but I sub
Yeah.
teach now because I wanted to kind of get my feet wet, dip my toes
Well,
in the water.
bless you because subs are a gift, but it is not an easy job.
No,
So
no,
thank you
it's
for what you do.
thank you. Thank you for saying that. I really do. I do K through 12. I have about two districts now. I do love the kids. I love interacting with different
Yeah,
kids. I love the flexibility too because it allows me to still do what I, went to school for, which was journalism. To
absolutely.
be able to cover my teams, be able to go out of town to different conventions. I'll be doing Fanatics Fest coming up here
Yeah,
in soon in New York City. So I'll be gone for about a 5 day stretch coming up next week. So
that's awesome.
it just allows me to kind of have that flexibility. You also said you love theater. I am a
Mhm.
huge theater buff.
Yeah,
Huge. I'm huge in
yeah,
theater, huge into musicals, as
yeah.
well. I love Hairspray. Hairspray is probably my
Oh my
number one.
gosh.
Um,
Phenomenal.
I love Wicked, which is Wicked.
Like we could talk about this for an hour. I
Right,
love it.
right. So I wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
give me your top four theater. Like it doesn't have to be a musical, but if
Oh,
you want to put
okay.
musicals on there, you can.
Oh man. That's so tough. I have been very lucky to go to New York multiple times. And I've gotten to see so many live shows
Yeah.
that just were amazing. And I think too, being a dancer, I have a deeper appreciation and going to OCU because we had to get trained in soundboard, light
Sure,
board training. So,
sure.
I was I was the director's assistant for one of our shows, a choreographer's assistant. So I've gotten to see also a lot of the behind the scenes elements. And when you know all of that, when you watch a show, it just makes it even more awe inspiring because you understand the work and the hours that people put in to
Absolutely.
make it such an enjoyable experience. But okay, let me think. I think number one, the first musical I ever saw that really made an impression on me
Hmm.
was The Lion King.
Okay.
And I think for me, first of all, having a woman director and for that to be just the magnitude of the show that it is, it's so magical in the way that they bring the animals to life using people,
Hmm.
the puppetry, the costume design, the simplistic set design, but it draws you into this world. I think I was 9 when I saw that show. And it was the first musical I ever saw, and I remember being like, this there is something different about this,
Hmm.
and being just so entranced by what I was watching. And I was sitting on an aisle seat, and I remember when the people came through the aisles with the puppets, like I was just like,
Wow.
this is insane. Like
Yeah.
I was like, I want to do this. Like this is so cool.
Hmm.
And so that show was my first show that I was like really impressioned upon. The show that I've seen the most times for me that never gets old that I just love is Wicked. I've seen it 11 times in tours on Broadway,
For sure.
once in Chicago. It is just such a beautiful show. And I think it raises a really important question that is still so relevant. I mean, it came out in the early 2000s, and it's still the messaging of the show is so important of like,
Hmm.
you know, the good versus evil and how it's like, are really people fully bad? Is there good in everyone? How do people become the way that they are? I think it's
Hmm.
such a beautiful story. And it took a classic work of The Wizard of Oz, and then it took the novel that was written, the Wicked novel, and it like blended them together. So it paired this familiarity with this new, and it's just such a beautiful story that continues to be told. And every time I see it, it's just as impactful as the first time.
Agreed.
And so that for me is one of my top four. I think probably just the greatest musical I've ever seen, and maybe this is my recency bias. I got to see Hamilton with the original cast,
Oh man,
original Broadway cast,
that's a great one.
and I have never, I was in awe the entire time. Just the staging, the choreography, the performances from the actors, the
Hmm.
lighting, the set design, just the way that everything pulled together, I think is, and I think Lin Manuel is a genius, and that can be a whole, another
No
thing. But I think
question.
his work
Yes.
is so important, and the way that he fuses rap and hip hop with, important cultural stories, I think is so beautiful.
Hmm.
I mean, In the Heights, his first musical, I also think is one of the best works on Broadway. I think it's so underrated.
It's a good one.
I think the story that it tells about people, the culture of, Latin people in New York and what they've done for the New York community, and,
Yes.
this fight between small local owned businesses and industrial, revolutionizing and making everything modern, and this pull of like, where do we go? What does this mean to the people and the culture, of this city? I think was so beautiful. And then for him to then do a similar thing of the story of our nation and casting, people of diverse ethnic backgrounds to tell the story of like what our nation is,
Hmm.
like we are a nation of immigrants. We are a nation, a molding, a melting pot of cultures and backgrounds. And for him to do that at the time that he did, I think was so beautiful. And it's just, I mean, I think that's the appeal of the story. It continues to be relevant. And I don't
Right.
think it will ever not be
Right.
in America, just because that is so much of our nation's identity. So that's three. And then if I had to pick a fourth, oh, this is where it gets hard.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough.
I saw the School of Rock musical. I thought that was phenomenal.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
When like 11-year-olds were playing instruments live on stage, and I was like, y'all are so more talented at 11 than I was at 17 seeing the show. I
Right.
also saw the show Memphis, and that was a beautiful show, just about like Motown music, and like, the whole story is about this radio DJ who falls in love with this woman, and she is black and he is white, and their struggles of being together in a time when people, were very hateful and very just
Yeah.
like not accepting of that. And that was a really beautiful story. Um, but I think the dancer in me pulls for like a dance musical. So like a Hairspray
Oh yeah.
or a Footloose or a 42nd Street or a Chorus Line, these classic shows that
Hmm.
just have been so integrated in dance. But I think if I had to pick a fourth, I would pick Chicago, just because I've had the honor of being in it. I've had the privilege of being like choreographing it,
Yeah.
and then getting to see it, and just like Bob Fosse's amazing choreography. I think alone is just that is going to be a top musical for me. So I would say those are my four if I had to pick.
Oh, for sure. And listen, there's a
Yeah,
lot more, obviously,
I
on. It's
know.
it's tough to narrow down to four, and I know I put you in a tough predicament. And listen, I will give you my four. I gave you one, which was Hairspray.
Yeah.
Hairspray is the number one for
Yes.
me. I love
So good.
Hairspray, no question about it. I would say my next one. Um, for me is Wicked. Wicked is another
Yeah.
one that I absolutely love. I love seeing it all the time. And for me, I love seeing it with different cast members because I love to
Yes.
see the different cast members and how they portray the stories, how they improvise, and some of the lines that they do,
Yes.
right? Just the acting and the singing, to me, it's just difficult to do. Um, Number three is Les Miserables. That's a kind of a
Oh, so good.
it's a special one for me because I acted in that in high school, like the one you did with
Me
Chicago.
too.
Yeah, so I did that. I did that one in high school, and I was four
Yeah.
different. I Funny story. Before I get to the next question,
Yeah.
so I was in that one in high school, and I was playing basketball at the time, and our
Yeah.
basketball season had just ended, and my I had chorus as one of my high school classes, and Miss Toombs, which is still alive, I still talk to her to this day. She's an instrumental teacher of mine. She was like, "Chris, I want you to audition for this musical." I was like, "Okay, what's the musical?" Well, it's about the French Revolution. I was like, what the hell is that? I don't want to do that.
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
I'm good. Like I'm balling right now. I'm playing ball. I'm hanging out with my jock friends. I like
Yeah.
music and I like chorus, but I don't know nothing about no French Revolution. So then she was like,
Yeah.
no, but I think you'll be good. And we need people. We need people that want to sing. And I'm like, all right, you know what? I don't think so, Miss Tunes, but thanks for the offer. Then I saw, and selfishly, and I was like, I think I was 16 at the time. I saw
Yeah.
the ladies. I saw bunch of ladies in the play. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
That might entice me to want to do something. That might entice me to want to do something. I'm like, you know what?
Right. You're like,
Maybe I do
yeah.
want to try out. So then I tried out for the part, and then they said, well, you know what? We're going to give you four different parts. And I was like,
There
excuse
you
me?
go.
Four different parts? I was like, wait a
You're
minute.
like, hold on. I agreed to one
Yeah,
part.
like hold on, one part is good enough, and Mr.
Yeah.
Overly, which was over the play, he was the director of the play. He was like, "Yeah, we're gonna
Mhm.
give you four parts." I was like, "Okay, what's the four parts, sir?" He's like, "Well, you're gonna have the opening scene when the look down, when the prisoner scene. You're gonna be in that." I said, "Okay, cool." He said, "You're gonna have the drink with me solo." I was like, "The drink with me solo?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "All these guys are in here, and I'm a person that's not even in the drama like that. And now I'm
Right.
getting all these looks. So you're gonna give me the drink with me solo? He's like, yeah, we want you to
Right.
do that. I was like, okay, cool. And then what's the other two parts? He said the other two parts you get killed. I said,
Yeah.
okay, okay, I can
That's
do.
about everyone's thing in there. Yeah. So funny that you say that because
Yeah,
I had the exact same story. I was not in theater in high school
right.
up until my junior year.
Yeah,
And I had done band, and my dance studio had their recital at my high school.
okay.
And so our drama teacher was running the like lights and sound for our dance show,
Hmm.
and she saw me dance and was like, "Have you ever thought about being in theater?" And I was having an elective open up because I had just finished my like required health and speech classes.
Yep.
And I was like, "Well, no, but like I did some acting when I was younger, but nothing serious." And but I've always loved theater and like dance. And she was like, "You should join the musical theater class." So I did, and everybody in that class had been in theater their whole time, and they announced that the musical was Les Mis. And
Mm.
I was like, I want to do it, but I'm just going to audition to be in the chorus. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't know anything about the show really,
Right.
besides like kind of the plot. And I also knew that they sang the whole time. And I was like, now I've sang in church, but I'm not like a classically trained vocalist. So I
Right.
was like, I'll be in the chorus. It'll be great. I'll get to dance a little bit, whatever. And I auditioned, and then callback list came out, and I was called back with one other girl for Eponine. And I was like,
Ooh.
oh,
Ooh.
I should probably. So I researched her, and I was like, oh, this is like a main role. And I was like,
Yes.
so I was just like, I'm gonna go into this callback like really fearless because I have nothing to lose.
Right.
And so I went in, and I felt really good about my scene work. And then they posted the cast list like 2 days later, and I got it. And I remember like
Wow.
it was the big deal because I was not in drama. And it
Right.
was like,
Right.
who is this girl that came in? And in my opinion, Eponine is the best character in Les Mis. I think she's the most pure and the most just like real. And her story, I think, is one of the most beautiful. I think hers is kind of what ties it all together. Her love
For sure.
for Marius and her desire to like just help him and do whatever he needs, but also this like her parents are these like evil people who, you know, tortured Cosette and she didn't know any better. And it's this like beautiful redemptive story of just like her having a such a pure heart for people and just like being like wanting to help the man she loves and then, ultimately sacrificing herself for him. I think, I just think she's one of the best characters of the whole show. And so getting to do that was just amazing. And that show is so beautiful. And for having barely maybe two lines of dialogue in the whole thing and the rest of it is singing, I just think that it's such a remarkable piece of work that is so beautiful and just powerful as well.
Agreed. Agreed on that. I love that.
Um,
That is so awesome. That is so
the
awesome.
drink with me solo, though, that's a big deal.
That well, listen, that definitely kept me up a few nights because, like I said, there was some guys in there that was giving me some looks because they definitely wanted it. And mind you, I didn't go for that. I was just trying to be a part of the cast because I saw all the ladies go
Right.
up in it, and I'm like, there is the ratio of ladies to men is something that I like. So I'm
Right.
like, okay, I'm trying to be with that. So whatever it is, I'm with it. But then they was like, yo,
Yep.
you gotta do A, B, C, D because there's no other guy that can do this but you. And that's what Mr. Overly was telling me. And I'm like, are you sure? Like, are you
Yeah,
sure?
right.
Like
You're
he's
like, these guys looking at me over here would think
right,
otherwise.
right. So, I was getting them kind of looks, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'll just do it for because Miss Toombs, I trusted her a lot because she was
Yeah.
somebody who I went to and had a really good connection with and personal relationship with. Because she always said, hey, listen, I want you to sing because you can do it, and I know you can do it. And listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if these other guys can. I was like, okay, all right, well. Okay, I'll do
Right.
it. I'll do it because you
You're like,
said so.
sure, okay.
Yeah, I'll do it because you said so. So yeah, that's pretty cool though. I love the experience that we share like that. I want to
Okay, so
add.
you said
Go ahead.
Hairspray, Wicked, Les
Yeah.
Mis. What's your
Oh,
fourth?
I didn't give you a four. Okay, so my fourth one, um, this one, technically, I don't know if it's called a musical or not, but I'm gonna go The Greatest Showman.
No, so
Um,
good. I love that.
That's my movie that I watch damn near every holiday season.
Yes.
I watch it all the time. I don't know if it's even a holiday movie, but I watch it during the holiday season because I love Hugh Jackman in that. I love Zendaya. I love Zac Efron in that.
Yeah.
The songs are great. I even got the full soundtrack where they had not just the soundtrack, but the actual music entertainers that actually did
Yes.
the whole sample of every song. Like so, I
Yeah.
got that on my Pandora because I love The Greatest Showman. I love that soundtrack. I
Yeah.
really do. So yes, a huge fan
That's
of
so
that.
good. If I have to add it, then a movie musical as well, which is
Hmm.
also a real musical, but
Hmm.
Singing in the Rain for me then is probably
For sure.
up there
Yeah,
because
pretty good.
that movie is amazing. I
Yeah,
still watch it all the time. It's like a good comfort movie. And the choreo, I'm just like a sucker for some good dance choreography,
for
you
sure.
know?
For sure.
So,
That's the dancer in you. So I love that. I love that.
yeah.
I'm gonna ask you some favorite questions, Hannah, and you just give me
Okay.
the 411 off the rip based upon these favorite questions, okay? So let's
All
rock
right.
with it. Favorite meal you like to cook?
Ooh, I like to cook.
Yeah,
I would say walking tacos.
I like that. Do you put extra
Yeah.
cheese in your walking taco?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so
You gotta stack it up. You gotta put everything on it.
so here's my thing. I haven't been to Oklahoma City in quite some time, but the next time I come through, I'm gonna have to come see you. Okay, that's just what
Okay.
it is. Walking
Walking
taco.
tacos. Bring your bag of chip of choice and I'll be
Oh,
ready for you.
oh, definitely, it's Doritos. No question.
Thank
No
you.
question.
Thank you.
It's
It is
Doritos.
Doritos.
Yeah, it's
The
Doritos.
original Doritos.
Right.
It just is. Yeah.
There's no other way. No other way. I got you in that. Okay, say less. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
Oh man. This is a tough one.
Okay.
I think I have two.
Okay.
I would say Taylor Swift because
Oh.
I went to the Eras tour. And so I grew up listening to her music and I got to go with my little sister. And so that was like a real moment for us of like the nostalgia of having gone to like her earlier tours
Hmm.
and now both of us being adults and listening to her music still. That was a really just cool sentimental moment, like getting to FaceTime my mom during Love Story because it's my mom's favorite song. And,
Right.
it was just the nostalgia of all of that. But I think I went to the Mumford and Sons concert when they came to Tulsa,
Wow.
and that was, just their live vocals. They're playing all their instruments. It and they did it at like moment where they like told everyone they're like, we want everyone to be completely quiet. We're gonna sing this song acoustic. And they had one guitar and then they all sang, and it was the most beautiful. And like they had like hanging lights from the ceiling, and the
Hmm.
moment was just so intimate, and it really felt like people weren't videoing on their phones. Like it was like everyone was fully present and engaged on what was happening, and we were all sharing this like beautiful moment of music together.
Yeah.
And so that was phenomenal. But I have been very lucky to go to some great concerts in my life, so that's a tough pick for me, but I would say probably those two.
No question about it. Shout out to Taylor Swift, who just recently got married in Madison
I
Square Garden in New
know.
York. That's what's up. And I
I'm
am
like,
not
come on.
I am not a Swiftie. I'm not gonna lie,
That's okay.
but I do like her Wildest Dreams. Wildest Dreams is my favorite
Yes.
song of hers. And then she
You don't have
also,
to worry. I'm not one of those crazy Swifties that's gonna like burn you at the stake if you don't like her music.
oh
It's
my
okay.
gosh, listen, I thought I wasn't gonna make it off the plane. I think a year and a half ago when she was doing the Era tour, I was going on a cruise at the same time. So I was flying down to Miami. It was actually her last shows in the US,
Yeah.
Miami. And I sat next to two girls that paid $1,700 each for tickets.
Yeah.
And I told them I'm not a Swiftie, and they wanted to crucify me. I was like, "Oh Lord,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not a Swiftie, but I do like Wildest Dreams." I just started naming songs that I
Right.
don't
You're
even.
like, I like this one.
Right, right. I just started naming songs off the rip. I was like, "Yo, listen, I'm with y'all." The whole plane flight, people were singing Taylor Swift songs all the way down to Miami. And
Yeah.
I was telling them I was going there for a cruise. They were going there for her shows because she was doing all the shows the entire weekend. So they spent the weekend in Miami. So that was crazy. Now Mumford and Sons is a sleeper. I love Mumford and Sons.
Thank you.
I will wait for you is one of my favorite songs
Yeah.
that they do. No question. But my most favorite song of theirs is Little Lion Man.
Yes, it's so good. Their new album is phenomenal as well. Prize Fighter.
Hmm.
It's probably I would say maybe my favorite like full album. I have like songs that I prefer, but
Hmm.
as a work, like it's I think one of their best.
Okay, okay.
So
I'm going
you
to
should give
tap
it a
in.
listen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to tap in. Okay, I like that. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Ooh. Well, before my honeymoon, I would have said Disney World because I love Disney World. But now that I've been out of the country, I will say St. Lucia. It was so beautiful.
Ooh.
And we were there during Carnival as well. So
Mhm.
it was cool to get to go there and not only see, like, I mean, the touristy side of things, but also get to see, like, the real culture of the island and the celebration of Carnival. It was
Yes.
very cool. So I will say St. Lucia or Hawaii,
Okay.
probably, or yeah.
Hold that thought. Give me one moment. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, all right. Welcome back. Welcome back. Here we
Thank
go.
you.
Thank you. No, St. Lucia is a wonderful, wonderful place.
Hmm.
No question about that. I've had the privilege of going there at least once. I will say Jamaica is my place. I went there. I told you about going on the cruise. That was one of my
Yeah.
four stops that we went to as a family. So Jamaica was definitely my place of going to. But if I had to pick one in the States, it would be New Orleans. New Orleans
Ugh,
is, mm,
love.
love New Orleans. No question about that. So
Yeah.
yes. Okay, I got you. Here we go. I'm a sports person, just like
Okay.
yourself. So I'm going to ask you a two-part sports question. Okay.
Okay.
So favorite sport you like to watch on TV, favorite sport you like to attend in person. They could be the same sport.
Ooh, that's a good question. Okay, favorite sport to watch on TV is probably football,
Hmm.
specifically college football, though.
Okay. Okay. College
And
football.
then favorite sport to go to in person is obviously basketball.
Obviously, right? I love it. I love it.
Obviously.
Yes, yes. That is my favorite sport, basketball. Now, I'm going to ask you, now that you live in Oklahoma City and you're from Texas, who are you rooting for? Who's your football team that you're rooting for?
Well, so I married into a Sooner family, so I have had to convert. But so this is the pipeline of this is crazy. So I grew up close to Austin. So obviously my family grew up University of
Texas.
Texas fans.
Yes.
Now, my sister, I went to a school that didn't have football. So I was just kind of like, whoever is fine. And then my sister went to Texas A&M. So then we had to convert and become Aggies. And then I now am married to a graduate of OU. So now I am a Sooner by marriage, but I will secretly cheer for the Aggies as well. But I
I
have I
got
have
you.
abandoned the University of Texas fandom, much to my father's dismay,
Yeah.
because my dad is a University of Texas fan still through and through. He said as soon as my sister graduated from A&M, he put all of that stuff in a box and said that was a fun 4 years. I will now be cheering for Texas again.
Mm,
And so
okay.
um, he is fully in that. My mom is just kind of like whoever. My sister is very much an Aggie, and I am a Sooner secret cheer for the Aggies.
Okay. Okay. Well, obviously, that's it's going to be a tough watch. Anytime that you got
Yeah.
Oklahoma and Texas playing each other, they play each other almost every year, and then obviously with
Yes.
Texas A&M and Oklahoma as well. I'm not sure if they play each other this year, but I would think that I would ask you, do you get a chance to go to any of the games?
Yeah, my husband and I went to an OU football game in, I can't remember, maybe December, November,
Mm,
October. They played,
mm.
oh my gosh, who was it? Now I'm like, hold on, I'm gonna go look in my camera roll
You're good.
because I'm like, I really want to remember.
No, you're
Okay,
good.
let's see.
That is okay. That's all right. I like that. Now, obviously, Oklahoma and Texas have a big time rivalry. So,
Oh,
is
yes.
has it been as far as family wise? Have you guys watched the game together?
Well, you know what? It's so funny. Okay, we went on no in November and they were playing, I
Oh
think,
wow.
Missouri. We went November 22nd and they were playing Missouri and it was like a super close game.
Yeah.
They won in like the fourth quarter. It was crazy. But yes, so my husband actually asked for my dad's blessing on OU Texas weekend. And it was the year that Texas was creaming OU.
Mhm.
And so my husband was like, this is the perfect opportunity for me to bring humility into this situation and say, hey, soon to be father in law, can I marry your daughter? And my dad was like, I'm glad he asked when OU was losing because if it would have been the other way around, I don't know if my answer would have been the same. But that's the only time that we've watched it together. Now, the group chat, every time they play, is back and forth. My dad sending memes, my husband responding with memes.
That's
So
funny. I like
it's
that.
never a dull it's never a dull weekend, that's for sure.
Well, see, and before I get to the last favorite, Texas A&M plays Oklahoma this year. They play Oklahoma this
They
year
do.
in Oklahoma. So,
Yes.
what are you going to do with yourself?
I hopefully we are going to go and I will cheer for OU because I will be with my husband. But if A&M wins, I will not be upset. I will. So either way, I'm walking out happy, which is a great way to go into a
It is.
game.
It is.
I'm
It
like,
is.
either way, I'm winning. So it's
Okay.
great.
I love that. That's awesome. Yes, they do play later in the season,
Oh,
around.
that's good. Okay.
I think it's in late November, close to Thanksgiving time. Not quite Thanksgiving, but yes, I think the week before Thanksgiving they play against each other. So that should be awesome for you
Perfect.
guys.
Perfect.
Last of the favorites. Like I said, I've only been to Oklahoma City once, and I definitely
Okay.
will be coming back for sure. No question about that. But I want to know, as a foodie, what is your favorite restaurant to go out and eat at?
Oh, that's a great question. I think it depends kind of on my mood. I've been really into sushi lately. And so Sushi Nico has been my go-to spot. Um, it also is kind of by my house, so that works out really nicely. Um, if I'm looking for like a steak dinner,
Yeah.
it's super bougie, but either Vast or Mahogany are
Okay.
great spots. Those are like special occasions though,
Okay.
like birthdays. We don't live that life. I can't afford that on the daily. So that's,
Right.
a special occasion kind of vibe.
But listen,
Um,
I'm a bachelor, Hannah, so I'm by myself. So that might work out. That might work out for me.
Listen, it's worth it. And Vast is up in the Devon Tower, which is the tallest building in Oklahoma City.
Okay.
It's up on the top floor. So if you go, depending on which side of the building you're on, you can get a nice view of the Paycom Center,
Okay.
which we love that.
Yep.
You can like really see the city. It's very beautiful. So
Hmm.
I love that. If you want some good Cajun food, there's this restaurant called Cajun Corner that opens up.
Okay.
It's so good.
Hmm.
Love eating there. They got a shrimp po' boy that is just chef's
I
kiss.
know that's right.
So
Okay.
I'd say one of those three probably for like in terms of you can't get it anywhere else kind of vibe.
Okay. Well, listen, like I said, when I do come out there to Oklahoma, we definitely gonna have to link up with each other. No question about that.
Yes, and I will say too, there are some amazing taco trucks here as well. If you go to like the south side of Oklahoma City,
Hmm.
they have like the best tacos, like fresh corn tortilla, homemade tacos. Like I've tried probably like five different taco trucks and they're all amazing.
Okay.
So
I'm a huge
if
steak
you're
and
into
chicken
that
person.
scene,
Steak and chicken.
huh?
Steak and chicken is my tacos. So
Yes.
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 Okay. So
So
I'm
anything like that as well, you can't go wrong with a taco truck in Oklahoma City.
okay.
So
I like it. That's what's up. That's
yeah.
awesome. Now, let's get into your day-to-day operations. Okay. So
Okay.
obviously, as a journalist, no 2 days are ever the same for me. I'm always
Right.
making calls as a sub teacher. Now with the school year being out, I can kind of focus on my journalism, be able to write stories or cover games, cover teams, because I do sports and stuff like that. But no 2 days are ever the same because no two games are ever the same. Games are always different. You're always meeting somebody new, right? for
Yeah.
your for your life as being an MC, you play different opponents, you have different promotions going on. There's days sometimes where you might not even be feeling it. You know what I mean? And you might be a little under the weather, or you just might not have the
Ah.
energy, right? Same way when you teach for school.
Oh
Sometimes
yes.
kids might push you to the limit, or kids might be really, really sweet, as most of the time they are. And
Yeah.
then, but you also teach dance as well. Talk to me
Hmm.
about your day-to-day operations and how it is for you in season when you are emceeing and you're teaching and you're dancing. 'Cause that's a full schedule, right? There's many hats that you wear.
Yeah. So usually during the season, I either have an A day or a B day,
Hmm.
basically, and it's one of the 2 days. B day being we have a game, and A day being we don't. So if I don't have a game, I wake up at about 6:15
Mm.
in the morning. I get ready, make my lunch, and then I go to school. We have to be at school by 7:30 in the morning. I usually get there about 7:15 just because I like to have some extra time if I need to choreograph anything or just like tidy up my room. I like to give myself a little extra wiggle room. And then our school goes from 7:55 to 3. And so I teach, we get one period off. I have 7 periods a day. And so I teach, straight through basically all day.
Hmm.
At 3, then teachers are required to stay our extra 30 minutes to fulfill our contract hours. And so I'll get out of school anywhere from like 3:30 to 4, depending on how I feel.
Sure.
Sometimes though, and what has happened a lot in like the past 2 years is students have wanted to get more training. And so I started teaching private lessons after school.
Oh, okay.
So then I'll get home around 5 o'clock because I'll do like an hour lesson and then I'll come home at 5. And so then I'll come home, depending on what the dinner plans are. Usually, like I'll make dinner. And then my husband will get home from either school or work and we'll eat dinner together and then spend our evenings together. There are some nights where I work at the dance studio, and so the schedule's a little bit different.
Hmm.
Those days I stay after school till 3:30, and then I drive straight to my dance studio. Get there at around 4 o'clock. I prep my classes, and then I teach from 4:30 to 6:30, and then I head home. Get home around 7, and then eat dinner with my husband and go to sleep. Now game days are a little bit different. So we have pre-game meetings that we have to go
Hmm.
to talk about like what are the promotions for the day, kind of talk about like are there, is there anything special we're doing at this game?
Yeah.
Who are we playing? Like all of that kind of stuff. And so those start um 4 hours before game time.
Wow.
So if we have tip off at 7, our meeting is at 3. Now I get out of school at 3. So basically what happens on a game day is soon as the bell rings to get out of school, I'm running to my car in the parking lot, get in my car, drive to the Paycom Center, and I come in a little bit late to the meetings, but then, stay in the meeting. Then from there, it's basically go time. We have assignments that we have to do. We have to film promotions.
Yeah.
We have to meet with our bosses about like what the script for the game day looks like. We eat dinner, all of that kind of stuff. And then our pregame activities usually start about an hour and a half before game time. So that's when we're ready for all of our live hits, whether that be introducing everyone to our fan of the game, talking about where you can go get merch in the arena, doing a karaoke cam, a DJ spotlight for our in-house DJ MC1.
Hmm.
Anything like that, we have to be ready for those live hits. And it differs from game to game because sometimes we have like performances pre-game, sometimes, so it's just kind of whatever the day holds.
Sure.
And then we go all the way through the game. Games are typically about 2.5 hours, 3 hours, depending on what that looks like. So then game ends at 10. I then walk to my car, drive home, get home at about 10:30, go to bed and do it all, again the next day.
I love it.
And so that's kind of like the difference of my schedule. And so that's kind of what my in season will look like from day to day. So pretty go, go, go for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely. No question. And
Uh,
I love that. I love the fact that because listen, schedules are crazy, no doubt about that. And
yes.
obviously, the A days and the B days, and when the Thunder's on the road, it gives you a little bit more flexibility and time. And I love that being an MC. 4 hours of preparation. I did not know that you have to be there 4 hours before the game starts. And most of the
Yeah.
games for Oklahoma City start around what, 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock there.
Yeah,
So,
typically we have a few 6:30 tip offs, but those are pretty rare
yeah.
until you get into the playoffs.
Mhm.
But then usually our tip offs are 7 or 8:30.
Right. So yeah, to
Yeah.
be there, you are definitely. And I don't know how far you are as far as where you work and where you live from Paycom Center, but I have to think that
Yeah.
traffic is kind of crazy once you get out of school.
Yeah, luckily I get out right at 3, so it's right before traffic starts in OKC, and I'm about a 12-minute drive to the arena if I can like get on the highway and go, and then like to park and get to security and all that. So it's about 15 minutes from like getting in my car to getting to the door for security.
Yeah.
And then my house is about 18 minutes with traffic about 25 from the arena. So it's not
Okay.
terrible.
Yeah.
Could be a lot worse. I used to live way further from the arena and that was a trek home every night. But my husband and I got married We moved into a house together, and it's much more central. So very
Sounds
thankful
good.
for that.
I love that. Now, great segue because I want to talk now about mental health and work-life balance. And the reason why I want to
Yeah,
talk about that is because many people in this industry have left, journalism and media because of their mental health being affected. Many people have left because of work-life balance just not being balanced. In my opinion, Hannah, I don't think that you can have 100% balance or a 50-50
yeah,
balance, right? It's just tough to do because balance looks different to everybody. There's people that can handle a lot of stress and continue moving on. There's people that can't handle much stress at all. They break down. And, you have teachers on, and that's just what it is. I want to know, how do you handle your mental health or keep your mental health strong and still have that work-life balance? Because you seem like a wonderful woman to be around. I certainly wouldn't mind
well,
hanging out with you.
thanks.
And I
Thank
think you
you.
I think your family and friends obviously feel the same way, but you also seem very dedicated in the jobs that you do. So how do you manage all of that and still, I should say, manage all of that and not be overwhelmed or burnt out?
Yeah. The Lord. Um,
For sure.
like I said earlier, I'm a huge woman of faith, and I think that the reason that I think have the joy and love that I have for what I do is, I mean, all because of the Lord and the opportunities that He's created for me. So I'm very thankful for that. But
Hmm.
if I'm being honest, I struggle with work-life balance a lot. I the reason decided to retire from the O City crew was because I got married. And I knew, and I think the biggest thing, my advice for people, I guess, is you really have to know your priorities. You have to know, is my priority my marriage? Is my priority my work? Is my priority my friends and my social life? And you kind of have to be really honest with yourself about what you want your priority to be. And if
Hmm.
you can do that, then I think the ability to have a work life balance is better because you know what you want to dedicate more time to. I think a lot of people aren't honest with themselves when they go into the work life balance conversation. They're like, oh, yeah, my priority is my family. But it's like, is it really though, if, you know, a family event comes along that you really need to be at and you decide to be at your job?
Right.
Is that really your priority? And so I think for me, my priority was my marriage and being able to be present with my husband as much as possible in our first year of marriage. And so I quit doing O City Crew because I had practices every single night of the week.
Wow.
And that for me was not something that I was willing to give up time with my husband. And I knew once the season started, we would have games twice a week on average.
Hmm.
But that was much better than the 5 times a week that I would be with the O City crew.
For sure.
So for me, it was like taking the MC job was like, yes, I am prioritizing my work, but I'm also not giving up the time with my husband, because if they would have said, we need you to be here every single night of the week, I would have said, thank you, but no,
Mm.
because I knew that my marriage was my priority.
Right.
Um, and so I am also a busy bee by nature. I love being busy. I don't like sitting still.
Hmm.
And so I think something that I've actually learned in this first year of being married and having 3 jobs is that you can't do it all. And
Yeah.
that there were many times this year where I was stressed, overwhelmed, and I would come home and I'd be like crying. And I was just like, I'd get home from a game just so exhausted and drained from the week that I've had at school, on top of, maybe not having my best performance at work.
Hmm.
And my husband being really honest and being like, is this something that you can sustain long term? And then having to have that conversation with yourself of like, it's okay to cut things out for the mental and physical well-being if it means that you're taking care of yourself first, because
1,000%.
I do think that our priority should be our bodies, our minds, our spirits. That is ultimately more important than any job. And I think that that's maybe not some people's philosophy, and that's totally okay. But for me, if I as an individual am struggling, I will never perform my best at my job.
No doubt. No
You
doubt.
can you can't you can only push things down for so long. They will start to telegraph in your work, in your spirit, in the way that you interact with people.
Hmm.
And so I think a work-life balance is so important, because if you don't take care of yourself and you don't prioritize that time for yourself, eventually that will catch up with you and you will get burnt out and you will want to leave. So I think the reason truly that I can do what I do is because of the Lord and the joy that he's placed in my spirit, and also the fact that I know that the 3 job thing for me is not forever, and in fact probably in the near future will not be where I'm at.
Mm,
I think it's great. It's been great for the past 4 years of my life that I've had, these 3 jobs that I've had. But I think realistically, I want to be a mom, and that's something that is really important to me. And I think when that phase of my life comes, that will be my priority, and the other things will phase out. And I'm okay with that. I think that that is something that I have sat with and said, I am okay knowing that eventually things will have to be let go, and that I'm not worse off or I'm not missing out on things because I have to leave a job. I'm prioritizing what I want, and then someone else will get an opportunity that they want, that then they will get to be in and be fulfilled in.
I love
Now,
it.
I don't know what job I will be leaving. I haven't thought that far ahead because I'm not there yet. And I really try to live in the present
For sure.
as much as I can, because I'm a planner by nature. So I like to be like, oh, in 2 years, I will, only work at the Thunder. And it's like, I don't know. So I'm just really trying to be present and be thankful and grateful for every opportunity. And when those decisions come, I'll make those decisions. But just being really at peace with like the fact that this is not going to be my reality forever, and that I am okay with that.
Mm,
And knowing, because I think sometimes too, it's people are like, oh, well, what if I miss out on this thing? It's like, well, then I'm not going to be where I need to be with my peers. And it's like, but if you're good in your heart and your spirit, that should be enough.
yeah,
And it's okay to say no, which is something that I've been learning the past few years as well. Is it's okay to say no to things, and it doesn't make you a bad person, and it doesn't mean that you're going to miss out on things. It just means that something new will come your way when it's supposed to, and that will be the opportunity for you.
for sure. For sure.
And so I think like all of those things, and I think it's hard in the society that we live in where it is very like driven on accomplishments, for people to be okay with saying no, turning things down, but also knowing when to say yes and when is the opportunity. I just think that you can't do it at the sacrifice of your own mental well being.
Mhm.
And I've always told myself, if I ever truly feel like I am in a place of struggle, then I will say no and I will step away from the things that I need to. But I think for me, what has really allowed me to sustain, aside from my faith in the Lord, I think has just been prioritizing rest time. When I have time to rest, not trying to fill it with unnecessary things, but really relishing in the rest and like actually resting, putting my phone away
I respect
and
that.
just being present
Mhm.
and like sitting and doing things that for me are relaxing, which is hanging out with people who rejuvenate my spirit. So, my husband, my friends, my family, all of those kind of things, and really being present in that and not getting absorbed in like, oh, well, I have to answer this email. It's like, no, I'm resting and I'm prioritizing that rest.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of it is just, for me, has been a headspace change and a practicing what I preach. Like this summer for me, I've had a lot of opportunities to do things that I could have said yes to, that could have filled my schedule. But instead, I was like, you know what? I'm going to take some time off and really allow myself to just have days where I do nothing,
Yeah.
and that be okay with me, and not feel like I'm behind because I'm not emceeing a bunch of community events. Like I am prioritizing the summer to rest, rejuvenate my creative spirit so that I can be ready to go when the season starts in October, and not feel burnt out or stressed, because I perform best and I'm at my best when I feel rested. And so that for me is like, I know for myself, doing more is not going to be effective for me. And so just prioritizing that rest and really knowing what my priorities are, I think is a huge deal as well.
Absolutely. And I love that. I love that explanation because it's not an easy question to ask because again,
Yeah,
mental health and work-life balance looks different for everybody. But
absolutely.
but it's certainly an important question to ask because in this industry, you do have to make those decisions. Like you said, you are somebody who um just recently got married, right? You had to quit that
Yeah,
because you know that you have to be able to split your time up evenly, right? You time,
yeah,
we time, and then time that you have to do business, whether it's for work or whether it's with the kids, whether it's dancing or whether it's emceeing. Like you have to split that time up evenly, but you also have to have some things outside of what you do as far as your work goes to be able to have your mind clear. You don't just want to be about
absolutely.
just work and coming home. You want to be about other things as well. And it just seems like
Yes.
you have clarity on that. And it seems like you've been through some times where you had to be like, okay, you know what? I really need to sit down and think about this is what I need to do. This is what I
Yeah,
want to do. This is a decision I have to make. And you're at peace with that. A lot of times people struggle with that at peace decision because they're going back and forth on trying to realize what is most important. And I love the fact that you did that. I love the fact that you have came to that peaceful decision for sure. No question about that.
yeah.
But
It's definitely easier to talk about than it is in actual practicality.
for sure.
And I'm still being like, I think it's like a day to day thing too. It's like, is this working for me? And I just say every day, like, yep, this is still great. And then, at the end of the season, if it's like, no, it's not, then you got to reevaluate. And I think definitely it's hard for me to make those decisions because I'm a yes person by nature. I want to be helpful.
Hmm.
I want to contribute. But I think for me, the times I've said no have been the most rewarding for me in terms of resting and regaining, um, you know, my peace, my joy, and my drive
Hmm.
for my jobs as well. Like I
Hmm.
feel like I do my best work when I have rested, like I said. So
Awesome. I like
even though
that.
they're really hard decisions, and sometimes I probably didn't make them in the timely manner that I should have,
Hmm.
when I eventually did make them, it was like, this is a really good choice for me. And I feel the effects of that.
I love it. I love it. Now, what is some advice that you would give someone that wants to be an MC for a sports organization team? Because there's a lot of people that want to get started, but they just don't know how to get started. So, what is some advice that you would give that male or female that wants to do the same job that you're doing?
Yeah, I would say reach out to people who you see doing the work that you're doing and ask them questions because the worst thing that they can do is not respond. But if you don't reach out, you never know who will respond and who will give you time to be like, yeah, let's hop on a call and let me answer your questions. I've met with this girl who she was like, I met her by chance at a Thunder game. I was looking for people to do a promotion and she ran into me and was like, I want to do what you do one day. Would you be willing to answer some questions? And so I said, follow me on socials, like DM me, and I'd love to like chat with you about it. And so her and I ended up going and getting dinner and just she got to ask me all the questions that she wanted to about like what does this job look like? How did you get this job? What's your background? And I also think it's important to know that, like, no two people's journeys are the same. So the way that I got into this job is not necessarily the way that you're going to. And I think just so one, asking the questions, find the people who do what you do and ask the questions. Email the organizations that you're passionate about working for and ask if there are opportunities to intern in any capacity because a lot of times if you can get your foot in the building with an organization, they will be more willing to hire you because the mantra, the belief system of the organization, and they know that you support that. And so they want you to be a part of that. So, looking for any open opportunities within organizations or companies that you want to work for. I think saying yes to things that maybe you wouldn't think to say yes to. just as experience. You know, a lot of people, I've talked to them about like, does your university have like a news station?
Mhm.
And they were like, yeah, it does. And I'm like, have you thought about doing something for that? And they're like, well, no, because I don't want to work for the news. And it's like, but that gives you good practice about speaking in front of people,
For sure.
you know, knowing your material. So it's like thinking outside of the box and saying yes to things that, you know, maybe you wouldn't think could lead to something that you're doing, but might give you a skill or an experience that you could then bring into the side of work that you want to do. I think sometimes like not even working, like volunteering, I think is a great way to get experience for journalism and MC work in general, because you're meeting people, you're learning their stories, you're
Yep.
talking to them,
Yep.
you're learning about that interpersonal side of things. And so I think getting involved with your community is a great way to build skills that are super important for MC work. And so I think just being willing to put yourself out there and send the text, send the email, go to the event. I think a lot of people think like, oh, well, I have to get my degree in sports journalism and then I have to intern at a team and then I'm going to segue. But it's like there are so many other ways to get involved. So many of my MC friends MC at a lot of local events in the community. So, for example, the girl who MCs the Blue, which is the G League team,
Yep.
with me and also MCs with Malcolm and I at the Thunder, she does so many local events that are things that she's passionate about. She's part Latina, and so she's MC'd like Latina events in Oklahoma City. She's done a lot of stuff partnering with Oklahoma City Goodwill,
Hmm.
just like a lot of organizations that she's passionate about their mission and also like wanting to be involved in those organizations. And then she gets the MC practice and the interpersonal practice by being at those organizations. And like for me, my interpersonal skills come from being a teacher, like interacting with my students who all come from different walks of life, different backgrounds, being able to communicate effectively with them has really helped my MC work, knowing how to communicate in front of large crowds of people, being able to speak clearly and speak eloquently under pressure when people are looking to you for information. So there's not necessarily one way to do it. And I think that's the advice that I would give is that if you have a passion for something, you can achieve it. It's finding what about me makes me special and what are the things that I'm passionate about, and then applying that and figuring out how can I use these passions and the things, the skills that I have that I'm really good
Absolutely.
at then building a career for myself. Because I think the opportunities are out there in a lot of ways and people are seeking opportunities. I think a lot of times people just get very one track minded with how to achieve a goal. And so I think if you can keep a broader spectrum and open your mind to there being more possibilities and just sending a text to someone that you admire, reaching out to a company that you like and asking if they have any opportunities to host events or, you know, anything like that, or even just work an event where you get to interact with people. I think anything like that is a great opportunity and a great way to build your skills. And so, and I know that for myself, Malcolm and Alexis, who were all the MCs for the Thunder and the Blue, we really believe that and we practice that. You know, when we're not in season, we're doing things for other organizations, we're involved, we're, you know, working on and being a part of things that we're passionate about to not only fuel our MC work, but also just fuel our hearts and fuel our passions. Because I think if you get stuck too much in the work cycle as well, you can lose your passion for what you do and just lose your passion for life. And so I think doing things that bring us joy, um, I like am going to see my family in like the end of this week. And so for me, that is something that fuels my joy and wants to make me work and wants to make me, you know, represent my family and be very proud of that. And so I think everyone has their own things and figuring out what works for you is the most important, and knowing that no two paths are the same
Right.
and that there is opportunity for you somewhere. It just might not be in the places that you think, being okay with that and being open to seeing what else is out there, because I never imagined myself doing this even 3 years ago. But I think that's the beauty of how life works, is that sometimes doors open in ways that we don't expect and lead us to where we're supposed to be. And you just have to be willing to say yes to that and not get so stuck on this is the path that I'm going on, you know?
Absolutely. No, no doubt. And I, I love that. I do. I love that explanation. And it's a great segue now because I want to kind of introduce to you my interactive game that I want to play with you here, that I play with all my
Okay.
guests here on the Work Hard,
All
Play
right.
Harder podcast. And it's called This or That. Okay. And what it is I'll throw some things out at you, Hannah, and you get to choose this or that. So I ask
Okay.
you before we start, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Out of these two restaurants, which restaurant would you rather sit down and eat at? Texas Roadhouse or Longhorn Steakhouse?
Longhorn Steakhouse.
How do you like your steak?
Medium rare.
Okay, that's my girl. Okay, we all to a good start. We are
I
all to
okay,
a good
I
start.
was this is so shameful to admit I was a well done steak girl for like 18 years of my life. But then I got cultured and learned that people eat your steaks at least medium. Medium rare probably, but medium is okay.
No doubt, no doubt about it. I grew up the same way. I mean, my mother and father cooked them well done as well, but now I've got cultured myself, so I totally
Yeah.
understand that.
And
Here we
nothing wrong with a well done steak, but
me
medium rare is where it's at.
no question. I'm with you. Okay. When it comes to chicken wings, which flavor would you rather put on the wing? Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Barbecue.
Okay. Do you like your wings wet or dry?
Wet.
Do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
Bone in.
So you like to get a little messy with it, Hannah, don't
Yeah, with the flats, there's like a strategy to eating them that I've learned
you? Oh,
via the Instagram reels, and you can like get all the meat and it's not terribly messy. So I am a flats over drums kind of gal. So
that's all right. I'm with you. I like it. I like it wet. I like barbecue. I like flats. I like drums. I like wings, period. It don't matter. But
there
yeah,
you go.
I rock with you on that. That's what's up. I love that. Now, these next four questions have to do with music concerts you rather attend. So if I ask you,
Okay.
Hannah, what music do you listen to? Would you tell me all genres or would you give me a specific genre?
I wouldn't say all genres, but I'm pretty expansive when it comes to my music listening. I mean, being a dance teacher, it's kind of like
It's
you
in your,
have to be.
yeah, it's in your nature.
But I don't listen to everything on the regular. But
Okay.
yeah.
So we're gonna test that theory a little bit. Okay, so here we
All
go.
right.
Out of this first concert, out of these two artists, which artist would you rather go see in person? Would you rather see Rihanna or Beyonce?
Beyonce.
Oh, okay. The Beehive. I like that. All right,
I
here we
know. I'm
go.
like, I don't want the beehive to attack me.
I know that's right. Here we go. Let's
I
rock.
do love Rihanna though.
Yeah, Riri is good. She's real good.
Love Rihanna.
Out of these two artists, which artist would you rather see in concert? Would you rather see Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Kendrick Lamar.
K Dot. I love it. I love it. Girl, we are two for two. I would have chose two for two. But
Okay.
yeah, no doubt. Let's see if we can keep this thing going.
Work.
Out of these two artists, which artist would you rather see in concert? Would you rather see Casey Musgraves or Zach Brown Band?
Casey Musgraves. I love Casey
I
Musgraves.
do too. And she's absolutely gorgeous. No question
I
about
went
it.
to her last tour as well. So
Okay, okay, all right.
yeah.
You got some good taste. All right, I like that.
Thank you.
Last
Thank you.
of the music.
Okay.
Which music artist would you rather see in person? Would you rather see Ariana Grande or would you rather see Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift.
Hmm. You chose that pretty quickly. Okay, okay,
I
okay, okay. All right, I'm with you on that.
do love Ariana. I love Ariana. And she's coming to Austin. So I just won't be there while she's there.
I
So
got you. I got you. That's what's up. Now let's go back to sports. Which sport
okay.
out of these two would you rather? I would say rather see on TV:
Okay.
basketball or baseball?
Basketball.
Okay. Out of these two sports, which sport would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
Bowling.
Are you a good bowler?
No, but I am terrible at racket sports. So I'm like a decent bowler. I bowl above 100, but like below 140. So like I'm not terrible, but I'm not great.
Hmm. Do you need the
So
Do you need the bumpers? Are we adding
no,
bumpers? Are you? Oh,
no,
so you're good without the bumpers?
without the bumpers.
Okay, we might have to test that theory. I'm just
All
saying,
right.
cause I bowl, I bowl. I don't know about you. I don't know if your husband bowl, but I bowl. You know, I do a little something, something.
He'll bowl. He's better than me, but we're
Okay,
both not like we're not hitting the 200s at
okay,
all.
okay.
So
All right, yeah, we might have to test that theory. Here we go. Okay, we'll keep it
okay.
going. Do you like desserts?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna name four categories of desserts. What you have to do is eliminate one of these categories that you would never eat again. Okay, so here we
Okay.
go. The first category is cookies.
Okay.
The next category is ice cream.
Okay.
The third category is candy.
Okay.
The last category is grouped together. So it's pies slash cakes. Which
I
one are
would
you getting rid of?
eliminate pie slash cake.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you, what is your favorite ice cream flavor?
Chocolate chip cookie dough.
That is my number two. That's my number two flavor.
What's
Yes.
your number one?
Cookies and cream.
That's my number two. Come
Really?
on.
Hey,
Yes.
girl, we in sync. I like that. I like that.
Come
Okay.
on.
Okay. Hold on. Don't tell me. Are you an Aquarius?
I'm not.
Okay, got you. Got you. I'm an Aquarius. My birthday's in February, so that's why I asked.
Okay. Hey, February's a great month. My mom was born in February.
See, there you go.
So
There you go. A shout out to your moms, because that's a
shout
beautiful
out to
thing.
my mom.
I love that. I love it. Okay, here we go. Do you like potato chips?
Yes.
Okay, same format. I'm going to name four brands. You're going to choose one of these brands to get rid of. So here we go.
Okay.
The first brand of chip is going to be Lay's. The next
Okay.
brand is going to be Ruffles. The third brand is going to be Doritos. The last
Mm.
brand is going to be Pringles. Which one are you getting rid of?
Ooh. I'm gonna have to get rid of the ruffles.
Oh, hell no. Hannah, what in the
That
world?
pains me. It
Oh
pains me
my
because
gosh.
I love Ruffles, but I love Pringles more.
I got you.
Lay's has so many flavor options that I like.
Well, listen, I mean, you can't be perfect. I get it. You know,
I fair.
you're absolutely wonderful, beautiful, talented, hardworking, but perfect. You just killed that. So you just threw that. So it's okay. It's all
It's
right.
all right. It's all right.
But if we were to walk into a grocery store and I said go to the chip aisle and buy your favorite chip to eat, this period, what chip would you say?
Salt and vinegar Pringles.
Oh my, oh Lord. Not only do you not pick Ruffles, but you picked just the third worst chip ever made to eat. Oh my goodness. I'm going to give my rant real quick before I get to the next question. So, salt and vinegar chips, anybody that does watch this podcast, is the third worst chip ever made. And you probably saying, why,
Oh
Chris? Why? Because when you eat two or three of them things, your mouth is burning.
no.
My whole mouth is burning after I eat two or three of those. I can't eat no more. I had to put it down. Now the second worst chip ever made is kettle chips.
Oh yeah.
Whoever made kettle chips, just shame on you. Shame on you for making kettle chips because they're horrible. And I don't give
I'm
a
not a
damn.
big fan of those.
Mm-mm, absolutely not. And plus, for you restaurants out there, stop making cheeseburgers with kettle chips. We don't do that.
I know.
Stop doing it. It's
Give me
ridiculous.
fries. I want French fries with my hamburger.
Hello. I mean, I'll even do tater tots over kettle chips. For real. All right.
Maybe an onion ring, but that's if I'm in the mood for an onion ring.
Right.
You know?
Now, my first worst chip ever made is Funyuns. Whoever in their life made, yeah, oh yeah. Whoever in their life
I
made
love
Funyuns. Okay,
Funyuns.
so Hannah, we certainly cannot eat chips together, and we certainly cannot, we cannot eat chips together for sure. That's just for sure, and that's okay. That's all right. We still got the
All right.
wings. We got the wings,
Right.
and we got the ice cream. We could do that, but
Yeah.
when it comes to chips,
Not the chips
no,
though.
no, hell no. Not those flavors. Absolutely not. But you know what? That's okay. You did pretty good on this or that. You were pretty decisive. So
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a pass for the most part, okay? Yes, you passed.
Yes.
Now, my next question is the bucket list. Okay, I want you to speak this into fruition. It's called bucket list for a reason because I want you to give me another top four list of things that you would like to do in your career that you haven't done yet.
Ooh. I would love to go to an all-star game
Okay.
and be an MC at an all-star game. I think that would be so cool.
Yeah.
Or some sort of like big NBA event. Not necessarily all-star, but just like big NBA event. Whether it be like the draft,
Hmm.
and be like a correspondent for the draft or something like that. I
Hmm.
would love to do that. In my career, I was like, I have my life bucket list, but I don't know about my career.
Mm.
Um, I think one day I would love to be a college professor for dance.
Wow.
Where that is, or a college coach for like a dance team.
Okay.
Where that is, I don't know, but would love to do that. Um, I think I would love to choreograph a piece that goes to nationals
Hmm.
for my studio. And then I think my biggest bucket list for my career is just to continue to enjoy what I'm doing and to continue to be open. Like I just want to be open to anything,
Hmm.
be willing and ready for anything that comes my way,
Okay.
and just to continue to have an attitude of gratitude and not get too wrapped up in the doing this, doing that, being, you know, first choice or whatever. Like I want to feel very grateful in it all and I
Mhm.
don't want to lose that. So I think I would put that on my bucket list. It's just the continued gratitude.
Okay. All right. I can respect that. I definitely respect that, no doubt. Now, we talked about advice you would give someone, but what is some advice that someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to?
Mm. I think that the best advice I've received was actually this year. And it was from our head of Thunder Vision, which is our like media company for the Thunder, who like does all the cameras for game days. They create all the visuals for game days. They do so much lighting, sound design. It's like a big group of people.
Mhm.
And the guy who's in charge and is like the point guy for all of that, he just told me one game day, he said, Hannah, being yourself is your biggest asset. Being you and bringing you to the table is the most important thing that you can do in any job because we don't want another XYZ.
Mhm.
We want Hannah. We want Hannah to be here and we want Hannah to do this job. And so I think for me, that was really like reassuring for me. One, first year being on the job of like trying to learn, trying to do things well, but him just being like, being you is enough.
Yeah.
And that is what we want. That is why we hired you. That is why you're here. And taking that into every job. Like bringing who you are to the job is the most important part. You can learn skills, you can, learn systems, but you can't learn individuality and confidence in yourself. That's really hard to teach coming from someone who teaches high school kids where like they're trying to be like the social media trends.
Right.
I'm like telling them no, like being yourself is the most important thing that you can be. And so that is the best advice I've ever received is that being yourself is enough and we want you to be you. And so I've carried that with me through everything I've done. And I think it's really changed how I've performed at my jobs, but also just changed the way I speak to myself and the way I perceive myself as well.
I love it. I do. I love
Mhm.
that. That is amazing. Now, my final question to you is
Okay.
I want you to name, I'm gonna put you on the spot. I want you to name three people that you think that would be absolutely amazing to hop on this podcast like you have been. But two of the three people have to be women to highlight.
Ooh. Okay. Um, let's see. Three people. I would say my best friend Serena Cheney. She works for the Thunder as well. She's
Okay.
been a Thunder girl. This will be her fourth year.
Okay.
But she also does so much outside of that and has done so much giving back to. She grew up in a small town in Oklahoma.
Okay.
And so I think she would be a great person to talk to just about her experience and what she's done for her community and, coming from a small town and making a career and a name for herself.
Hmm.
I think my college roommate, Ariana Lipschutz, now has a new last name that I cannot pronounce because it's Greek. Um, but she is somebody that, one, as a person, I just love and admire, but has worked all over the world doing cruise ships and has worked in many different roles and would be somebody great to talk to. On that same vein, my other really good friend, Emily Pereira, she has worked on both the dancer side of ships and now is managing a company in New Hampshire.
Hmm.
And so she is somebody that is just full of experience, has been well traveled, is just a plethora of knowledge, and was born in New Jersey. We ended up at college together, and is just so wonderful and so great. And I think would be somebody really awesome to talk to.
Okay.
And then I would say, lastly, the Storm Chaser captain. He goes by Q. He's so cool and has been at the Thunder for forever, has been in the seasons of the ups and downs, and has really shown loyalty to the Thunder team and to the Storm Chasers. And is somebody that also is just so cool and does such cool things outside of the organization, that I think would be really cool to have on. So I would say I gave you four,
You did.
but I would say those people would all be great to talk to.
Now, you mentioned those four names. I would have to say, Hannah, you would have to help me get them on the podcast at some point.
Okay.
No question about that. Now, but shout out also Malcolm and Alexis, which are two people that you work
Yes.
side by side as well. I would love to hear their
Yeah.
stories. So that'd be a total of six total people. I would love to have
Yeah.
them on as well for sure. No question about that. But this has really been a really dope podcast episode. Learn about
Thank
your
you.
why of coming up, of growing up in Texas, being a dancer, the dance instructor studio for Dance Unlimited, but also being an MC. Also learn about your opportunity of being an MC from working with the City Blue team or with the Oklahoma
Yeah.
City or the dance team, right? I love
Yeah.
that. And then being able to go to Oklahoma City and graduate and now be able to pay it forward in a way of giving back to the
Mhm.
community by teaching these kids and being able to dance and stuff like that and the fine arts and stuff like that. I love the fact that you did theater. I love the fact that you're doing sports. You're absolutely amazing. And anybody would say that about you that will ever meet you. And I'm a
Thank
new
you.
fan of yours. I
Aw.
cannot wait to see what you do in your future endeavors. So my final question to you is there anything else you would like to add about yourself, Oklahoma City, dance, sports, anything at all before we conclude?
Oh, I think don't sleep on Oklahoma City. People like to say that there's not a lot happening here and, that we're a small market, which sure is maybe statistically true, but I think Oklahoma City is a beautiful place that's really blooming. And I think there's a lot of opportunity here. We're hosting some Olympic events, which is really exciting. And so I just think, firstly, don't sleep on Oklahoma City. It's great here and I love it. Coming from Texas, that's saying something too. So
Sure.
there's that. I think something that I would tell young people that I just like want to say that is so important for myself is to just be yourself. And when you go into workspaces, be professional and be willing to absorb. I think being humble and enough to take in as much as you can and ingest as much as you can from, one, the world around you, two, people with different life experiences than you, and three, just like any opportunity that comes in your path is so important, whether you stay there for a year or you work a job for 10 years or 20 years or your whole life. I think continuing to learn and continuing to absorb are the most important things. I think always having a student attitude is so important for not getting stuck, not getting stagnant in your craft as well. Always wanting to learn from people and being humble to admit when you make mistakes, to growing, to learning. All of that kind of stuff is super important. Um, and then I think for me, like dance wise, come to Harding Fine Arts Academy, come be in my dance class, come take class at Dance Unlimited. And I think for everyone, movement is so important. Moving your body, whether that be going on a walk every day for 20 minutes and just getting our bodies up and moving is so important. And movement is so beneficial for your health, but also for your mental health.
Sure.
And so when talking about how to take care of yourself, like just get up and move, go take a dance class, go walk with your friends and talk, go, if something is in walking distance, instead of driving one time, just walk. Or if you're like super into the workout thing and like that's your vibe, like hit the gym. I think everyone, you know, or if like you're, there's ways to move in every situation. One of my dear friends, she teaches like wheelchair dance classes, and I think it's the most beautiful way to like give back to such a wonderful community.
Yeah.
And so I think just finding ways for you to be active in a way that works for you, your body, your schedule, I think is so important for your mental and physical well-being. So I would just encourage people to like get up and move, find friends that you love that you can hang out with and be active together. But then most importantly, just loving the Lord and finding good people that you love and being in community with those people, because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. Accomplishments will fleet, but love and joy and compassion for humans are the things that will never go away.
Mm.
And so just, making sure that people have a good community and finding and being willing to put yourself out there and find community, I think is so important. So just be brave, be you, and take on the world.
I love it. I love it. And listen, I want you to enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, the rest of your week.
Thank you.
Again, thank you so much for hopping on my podcast. You know, you and I will definitely be in touch, and I look forward to seeing you
Absolutely.
down the line.
Thank you so much.
You take care now.